Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio. Yesterday was the luckiest day of the year, according to many astrologers, with Jupiter in its motion with the sun, and also being in Sagittarius, which is its home sign, and it's only been there, it hasn't been there for like 12 years. So, where is your luck expanding? What are the, what is offered to you in terms of support for your expansion over the next days, weeks, months, years, or a year in particular, as Jupiter is in Sagittarius for about a year. This coming month, December, the new moon in Sagittarius, followed by the full moon in another water sign, Cancer, one of your sister signs, and the Cancer full moon is right around the solstice. The Sagittarius full moon is around the 7th. And then what is available to you at this time as a cardinal sign? What energies you may draw upon, and then any clarifiers will be over here, and we will. Sorry, having a little double checking moment there to make sure my camera's good, which it is. And here we go. The Devil. Oh my goodness, my dear Scorpio. So I've been reading the Devil as outworn definitions, but maybe there's a way in which actually the act of defining things or redefining aspects of your personality, aspects of your life, aspects of your situations, your relationships, sort of a redefinition, a reconsideration. Each year, the dictionary, there are committees who look at what words to take out, to put in, to, kind of rethink the write-ups for the definitions of words. Every year that just continuously goes on, right? And language, of course, is alive, and unless if it's a living language, it's constantly changing, right? As people use it. So perhaps, I see this as a constricting energy that needs to be broken, but also perhaps here in this particular placement in the spread, it suggests that there is actually a way that you might expand in the very act of defining things, so that the act of defining things need not be a constriction, but actually part of the expansion in your life over the next year or so. Just think of that act of defining, yourself, your relationships, your work, your ways of understanding the world, even the language you use on a daily basis, the phrases and language reconsider them and reconsider the way you speak about your life, the way you speak about yourself, because that definitely has a powerful effect, in how we see ourselves and experience our world. So is there a way in which defining, the act of defining, can help you bring an expansiveness, a spaciousness to your life? Ooh, and with this new moon in Sag on the 7th, you have this quick movement. So far you've got two major arcana cards. This movement, quick and steady and true movement. Think of Sagittarius, the archer. Her aim is true. You are being propelled by within this new moon to do this very act of redefinition, of moving toward perhaps some new situations, or at least new understandings even if the situation itself doesn't change that much, you within the situation can change the way that you're experiencing it, and that actually has a ripple effect of actually changing what the experience is. And thinking if you're in a particularly how things are at your job, how things are at your family, at your shelter, your etc. There's a definite push from this new moon to move toward whatever it is that you're maybe secretly hoping for, that's kind of underneath the old ways you've defined yourself. Maybe there's something simmering underneath the old ways that you've defined yourself, or your situations, or your life, or your abilities, or your luck, or what you're able to do, or and this new moon on the 7th is pushing you. Like, how can we expand that definition? How can we rethink that definition in a way that will serve you well. In the next, my goodness, I wanted to have birds. I wanted to hear the birds in the yard during the readings, and instead I keep hearing these nice civic cleanup trucks going by. So yes, you are being spurred, encouraged, prodded, driven, held. You are being pushed to, encouraged to redefine what you've seen as your limits, what you've previously seen as your limits, the star for the full moon in Cancer. So again, this is what are your guiding stars, and that can be some goal or hope, that's held dear, that seems far away, but really it's within you. It's within you to move toward it. And then also, the 6 of Wands. Okay, so this is I want to show this one a little closer. I don't know if I'll show it a little closer at the end as well. The 6 of Wands is really in a sense, it's a victory card, but it also, it's a capability. It's a capability, and it's also there's a happiness here. It can be a coming together or a recombining of family and deep, important ties, extended family, extended, it can relate to children, and how they are doing and how they are being cared for. But really this card indicates to me, again, resounding here with the chariot of the new moon, the 6 of Wands of the full moon, is that you are very capable here on earth. And it also is kind of a card of self value, self-value, and knowing your own worth, knowing your own capabilities, and using them, but also having those celebrated by those around you. So be sure that those who are around you are people who believe in your dreams, who believe in the depth of joy that is your birthright, the depth of self-love that is your birthright. Those are the people you want around you, because they can recognize and celebrate all that there is to celebrate within you, and that can help you toward this redefinition that is part of your expansion and luck over the next year. Knight of Pentacles. So as a cardinal, as a fixed sign, you have this patience. You have this, the word just went out of my head. Durability, but that's not the one I wanted. But you're just very, you're stable in your motions forward. There's a fortitude here that just is very, very grounded. That's very true. That's very sturdy. And you have that, and very patient. and yet also just rich in intelligence and um, and sparkle, and imagination, and you have all that, and in a sturdy way. You have this sturdy energy that will help you in these activities that I'm that I'm that I'm sensing this. I'm sensing you may need to take on, and a lot of it is really not I'm not trying to add anything to to your list of chores, but just to encourage you to try to create some new habits of mind and of self-care and of defining. Okay, this is the sort of, depends. This card can be read in several ways, but I'm going to see this as there's an ease in the confusion and overwhelm. Because when I have a reverse, I've been reading it as things changing with more ease than you might expect. So a simplification, really, even though there's this expanding, old definitions, there's also a simplification. So any sense of overwhelm, maybe other people defining you, or just feeling defined by all these things you have to get done, and you're being asked to really ground in that central star, the heart of your sun, and I like how it reflects off this silvery tree. So of course Anne Frank as the star. Anne Frank is a voice who was silenced, but yet, her voice lives on. People read her book. So there's some hard things here, but you're being pushed to really to trust in that hope that we all have in our bodies in every breath, and to give more attention to that. 9 of Wands reversed. So there's a need for contemplation, and there's a need for release of some of the old ways of contemplation that may have got you in habits of just making too much room for sorrow, or allowing sorrow to seep through, where you might be able to, in that very act of breathing and self-care, whatever that looks like in each daily moment for you, or in even just a few moments in each day for you, to allow room, a clearing, a cleansing, to allow room for what is in your heart, and for that beat of hope that goes through every pulse as we live. White Buffalo Calf Woman is one of my favorite stories. This is just a small story of her as she appeared, and 2 fellows were, thinking rude thoughts about her and just inappropriate, just tacky and lame and stupid thoughts about her as an attractive female being, and she just didn't even, there was no, her consciousness was just so much deeper and richer than theirs that they couldn't even exist in the same sphere as her, and they were reduced to ashes, to maggots. I think they had them in the story, just with a glance from her. There is such gorgeousness to you, Scorpio, that no one can take away from that. No sorrow, no injury, no stupid definition, no constricting, devilish definition can truly impinge upon you. And I want you to celebrate that. And to be swept up, and to move toward your dreams within this absolute admiration for yourself and drawing upon your sturdiness, but allowing some of the old ways to fall away. And just knowing, so deeply knowing. And I know you may know on all kinds of levels, but just I want to encourage you even more deeply to know how valuable you are.